Am I the a-hole stories? Am I the a-hole for not letting my ex sleep in the shed? My ex and I broke up almost a week ago. We were together for 9 years. Her 2 biological kids have also lived with me for this time as well. I pay for the house and have been the sole breadwinner the majority of the time. She's got a job now that's relatively new. I told her the kids can stay as long as they want, and she can stay too until she can get her finances in order, probably a few months at least. At one point in our conversations, I mentioned that if we broke up, I wouldn't want to stay in the house because it would hurt too much, all those memories in an empty house. Well, since then I've looked at the housing market, and it's not a place I want to be right now. 2. The things she has said and done since then don't have me missing her terribly at the moment, only what we used to have, and 3. She said she won't take the girls from me, so I'd like to keep the house so they have somewhere to be when they visit. Now, she wants me to move out of my own house that I pay for in full so that I can rent it out to her, so the kids don't have to move. Alternately, she wants to live in my shed. While I wish the situation was different and the kids would never have to move and leave their home, she did break up with me and I have no legal claim over the kids, so they can't legally stay with me if she lived separately. Am I the a-hole for not moving out of my house for the kids' sake or letting my ex live in my shed? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. I'd get legal advice so she doesn't end up with your house. Is that a thing that is possible even if she isn't on the title, loan, and can't afford it? You don't want to chance it. Get a lawyer. An hour consult is cheaper than losing everything in a lawsuit. We don't know anything about where you live. There's common law marriage in some places which could give you problems since you were together so long. Not the a-hole also. Very true, thank you for that advice. Not the a-hole, but it is weird to have your ex in the shed. If she can afford to rent your house, she can afford a similar place nearby. That's true, she just doesn't want the kids to have to move and leave their rooms and home, which I get. But you're right, she could rent nearby and they wouldn't have to change schools or lose their friends. I think she plans to rent it on the cheap, free, and not at market rate. But also, really weird when you start dating again to have your ex in the shed. LOL, I know. I was thinking about that this morning. 'Cause I thought to myself, maybe I could take out a smaller loan and add an addition she could stay in that would offer her more space and a separate entrance and whatnot. But then I thought about the day when I have someone over and they hear her come in and I have to explain that. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my soon-to-be ex-husband that he can't spend our money on his girlfriend? So, about a month and a half ago my 32 female husband, 37 male, texted me and told me he didn't know about us, then called later that night to say he wanted a divorce. That he wasn't happy. The very next day, he went to her, 23 female, house. And he's been there pretty much ever since. We have 3 kids, 12 male, 6 female, and 1 male. I've been a stay-at-home mom the last year and a half, to be with our youngest and because of COVID. So, this has left me scrambling, trying to wean our son, find childcare, and get a job. By myself. My ex is staying over an hour away with her. We have pretty much no savings, and he's still paying the bills here until I can find a job and childcare. Now, I've had calls back about jobs, but every daycare I have contacted is full. All of them. Not one accepting 1-year-olds. My ex is spending hundreds of dollars on this girl. He takes her out to eat, buys her things, they go to bars. Also, let me say, a month before he told me he was leaving us, we were looking at houses and planning a move. The kids and I were blindsided. We didn't fight a lot. He works 3rd shift, so the most we argued about was that he didn't spend enough time with the kids. But we didn't have a bad marriage. I cooked, cleaned, took care of all childcare and household duties. I paid bills. He worked and slept. Anyway, I've been telling him not to spend our money on her. I need to be able to afford to get my son into daycare if I'm going to get a job. But now all he says is that it's his money, and I can get a job. Which I'm trying, and he's no help. I can't do anything without someone to watch my 1-year-old. But I've told him that it's our money until those papers are signed or until I can get a job. He's calling me a petty jealous a-hole, but I think he's the one being unreasonable. He practically abandoned our children. Only sees them because I lost it, because our children are having breakdowns and don't understand why he doesn't want to be with us. And was irritated I put them in therapy. Anyway, am I the a-hole for telling my ex that he can't spend our money on his new girlfriend until we're divorced or I have a job? Or am I just an entitled butt? Not the a-hole. Take bank statements from when you suspected this affair started and go see an attorney. Also bring a list of your household bills and estimated child care cost. Bring pay stubs from him too. The attorney will take it from there. Yeah, this. OP, stop worrying about your ex's feelings. Worry about keeping a roof over your kids' heads. Lawyer up. Clearly he doesn't care about her feelings. I'd like to see the update in a couple of months where he won't feel so good with his child, meaning his girlfriend. Not the a-hole, and you need a divorce attorney immediately. Don't delay another day, start looking right now. I've found one. I plan on calling Monday. I'm definitely going for child support and alimony. If you have the option, then I would call today, rather than wait the weekend. Honestly, you need someone ASAP. Very low chance you two are going to agree on how to spend money. Stop wasting your breath on this and get a lawyer. You can't afford not to get one. The lawyer can file for you to get support until the divorce is finalized. Not the a-hole, but it's a futile task to try to argue with someone who thinks it's okay to leave the rest of his family, including 3 small children, with 0 income to live on. Stop wasting your time and start fighting for your legal rights. Not the a-hole. Firstly, you should get a lawyer. Where I'm from, the main breadwinner, most times the guy, pays for both lawyers, so you should see if it's like that for you. That man is selfish and a total a-hole. Thank you. Other people keep telling me how generous he is, that he's still paying the bills right now, and I feel like it's the least he can do. He's not helping me find childcare for his kids, and I honestly don't know what to do. Edit, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. I'm doing some more shopping for lawyers and I'm going to look into other resources. I'm not going to listen to my ex anymore. I'm going to apply for low-rent housing and food stamps until I can get on my feet. He told me not to. It's so nice to hear that I'm not the a-hole. I feel like I'm in the right, but others have been telling me otherwise. So, thank you again. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my soon-to-be ex-wife and her boyfriend have a key to my house to help get our children off the school bus? So the details are this: my wife cheated, yet again, as well as fell back into her old substance habit. Her and her boyfriend are homeless, jobless and hooked on meth. I removed her from the home, I have filed for custody, and she is not on the lease or have any belongings in the house. I work the same hours our kids are in school. However, there is a 20-minute gap between when they get off the bus and when I get home. So to help with this, my mother has been stopping by and letting the boys into the house and sitting with them until I get home. I've started getting messages from my soon-to-be ex-wife's mother, saying I am not being civil about this, and that I should allow them to have a key so they can be here to get the kids off the bus. She also says that I should let them come by in the morning, me leave for work, and let them put the kids on the bus, rather than me dropping them off at school. I'd like to add that the option of her picking up the kids from school and waiting on her car for me to get home would be a bad idea, as she has no heat, expired tags, no license and no insurance. I don't think this is a good idea, as she has proven time and time again she is unreliable. 2 weeks ago, she wasn't even home to get the kids off the bus. I rushed home to find my children crying in the front yard. Add in the fact that she is on crystal, not alleged, is factual, and has not only stolen from me but from other family members. Plus, I do not trust her boyfriend at all. So, am I the a-hole here? Children are ages 10, 9 and 6. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You really don't have to keep reading after hooked on meat. Yeah, give them a key and say goodbye to your stuff, or hello to your new roommates. Exactly. Not the a-hole at all. She should have as little time with the children as legally allowed, and giving her a key would almost certainly lead to her and her boyfriend using your house while you're at work, doing D's there, stealing things for D money. If your mom is reasonably able and willing to help you until another arrangement can be made, stick with that. Much safer all around. Not the a-hole. Keys to the house is a bigger issue than just picking up the kids. They could come and go anytime they want. And it's pretty clear they can't be trusted. This is a big safety issue. What's to stop them from entering your home one night high on crystal? Obviously you know them better than I do to know if they'd actually cause any harm, but that's a big concern. And if your mom doesn't mind being there for your kids after school, then I don't see an issue with that continuing. If you have ever been around anyone on crystal, especially after they have been on a binge and up for days, it's scary, and I wouldn't trust anyone. My own sister and brother are into that stuff bad. They both have been around me when tweaking after days of being up, And it's very scary. They are unpredictable and get irritated easily. They just stand there sweating and eyes darting around a mile a minute while scratching everywhere. Then they also act crazy and get in people's faces as well, and just in general do stuff they would never do sober. I didn't feel safe at all physically the last time they were around super high, so I don't go anywhere they will be anymore. If family wants to deal with them, fine, but I won't be there. There have been fights and thefts almost every time they are there. Even if it was my spouse, who I love and trust, and who luckily would never touch Crystal, who decided to do that, I wouldn't be around him, as that stuff can make you violent, and literally make you have a severe psychotic break. Those kids need supervised visits. Not the a-hole. In the middle of a divorce, if she could get into your house, she's liable to take things, financial records, etc., or refuse to leave and plead for you to let her stay in her house. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for the way I dismissed my ex-wife's pleas for more time with our daughter? 3 years ago, ex-wife and I had a bad divorce. She was a bad wife, carried on an affair with some other younger guy for 2 years and gave me chlamydia, called me names, said I was stupid in front of her friends, etc., but I admit I was a bad husband too. Such is my inability to satisfy her emotionally, my quietness, lack of romantic spontaneousness, etc., which I own, and they are definitely flaws in myself I should have fixed. Anyway, custody of our 8-year-old daughter came to a 60-40 agreement in favor of myself. Recently, my ex would repeatedly ask to either get back with me, or to see our daughter more. My ex, one time on a phone call to me, said she knows she ruined our marriage, but she shouldn't see her daughter less because of it. She said she missed our daughter so much and wanted to see her more, and if I'd agree to appeal to change the terms of the custody deal to 50-50 contact. I declined. She would ask for more time with our child over and over again, and when I told her she'd need to communicate with her lawyer and make an appeal to court herself, she would say that she wanted my blessing because she loved me, and that she knows it didn't seem like it back then, but she really did love me and our daughter so much. Early February, I allowed my ex to help out at my place one evening since my mood was shot as I was laid off from work. I simply wanted to give my daughter dinner and figure out what to do the next day. My ex didn't take note of this, and yet again, she asked for more custody of our child and for us to be a couple again. She said it wasn't fair me taking the most of the parental work when I was just laid off and had no way to support our child. She then let what I feel are her true feelings about me known, when she called me a dummy for getting laid off, which seemed like a slip of the tongue, but I still hurt and it stung. I said a flat-out no to her requests, yet again. I said what wasn't fair was her attitude towards me during our marriage, that led to me becoming a diseased unlovable clown with an STD. What wasn't fair was her calling me moronic in front of her friends. What wasn't fair was her criticizing me for being a horrible parent and partner, when she had her faults too. And for her mistakes, we'll never be together again or be a family again. I said she's got a lot of men to screw around with, and this time, she isn't married, so no extra stress of honoring vows, and that a 50-50 custody arrangement wouldn't be easy for her lifestyle. While all I've been thinking about is making sure our daughter was okay with school, being fed, and happy. I then told her to get serious for once, and to enjoy the time she has with our kid now. She started crying and said she maybe was right to divorce me, since I'm such an insensitive prick sometimes. Even her friends and family have apparently said as much about me after she told them of what I said. I simply see it as me laying my feelings out honestly. But am I the a-hole for this? Everyone sucks here. I have to point out that you've talked a lot about your grievances against her, and about her grievances against you, and not at all about what your daughter wants or what is best for her. Difficult as it is, put your own hurt feelings aside and make that your focus. OP got primary custody for a reason. She is trying to manipulate him into getting more, using her daughter as leverage. Not the a-hole. She sounds toxic. Wounds take time to heal. If you're not ready to agree to give her more time with your daughter, there's nothing wrong with that. The courts were in your favor for a reason, don't forget that. She made her own bed. No, they both sound toxic. He's placing his hurt feelings above his daughter's best interests. Yes, the courts obviously gave him more custody, but as long as she's not abusive to their daughter, which she clearly is not, as he actually stated that she is a great mother, she shouldn't be kept from her. I see this all the time with divorced couples who hold relationship resentment. If your ex misses their kid and just wants an opportunity to see them more, and the kid wants to see them too, it's pretty terrible to stop that from happening. Again, I understand he holds greater custody, so if he doesn't want to relinquish to 50-50, that is understandable. I get it. But letting her take her out for a movie or something, for example, on one of his days shouldn't be such an issue. Assuming the kid wants to go too, of course. Everyone sucks here. Sounds like neither one of you have been a good partner. It also sounds like you were punishing your ex for how she treated you and using your daughter for that, which is a major a-hole thing to do. Unless your wife treated your daughter badly, how she treated you shouldn't have any bearing on when she sees her, unless there was mistreatment. I understand why she would ask you first about changing the agreement, but honestly, she should just take it to the court. Everyone sucks here. Your reasoning sounds entirely based on how messy your relationship is, and nothing to do with what is best for your child. You two can have a 50-50 arrangement and still not get together. You say her lifestyle is unsuitable for this arrangement, but you haven't said how. The biggest question here is, has her situation changed since your divorce to be one that's more suitable for a 50-50 arrangement? How old is your child? And depending on their age, what do they think? You and your ex sound like a toxic mess together, and from the sounds of things, it's a good thing you got divorced. But the lingering feelings from the divorce seem to be having a significant impact on your ability to co-parent, which isn't really fair on your child. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.